Hello, everybody. Todd Woodbridge here, and with tennis getting underway around the world in various shapes and forms, it is a real pleasure to welcome to chat today Darren Cahill. Darren, welcome. You're the UTR ambassador in Australia. You're currently in Adelaide. We've had some tennis get back up in Australia in the UTR series. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've had some tennis in Adelaide for quite some time. So South Australia has been one of the states that's been pretty good when it comes to COVID-19. And having these UTR matches where players are playing for ratings has been fantastic for the young players, and especially that age group that are looking to go across to the US to either to college or to improve their rating. And to get those matches where there's something on the line has been great for the youngsters here in South Australia. So we're looking forward to taking that Australia-wide, of course, which is what we're doing.
Tell us a little bit more about UTR, how it works.
So the UTR is the Universal Tennis Rating System, and it's worldwide now, and it's especially big in the US, and it's a little bit new here to Australia. So it's important for us to educate not just the players, but also the parents and the local coaches at all the clubs. And the best way to describe it, I think, is very similar to a golf handicap. So you could, Todd, I know you're a good golfer. You're just about a scratch golfer. So you can go anywhere in the world. And if you're playing against somebody similar to your handicap in golf, then you know you're going to have a good game. And that's what they're trying to emulate with Universal Tennis Rating, is that you can go to any club in the world, any place in the world, any player in the world. And if you have a UTR rating, then you know what type of player that player potentially is, and you can work out walking into that club who's going to be a good hit for you, who's going to be a competitive match to play against. So it gives a way for us to rate ourselves against any player anywhere in the world.
Darren, what's the difference in the UTR to, let's say, the ATP and WTA rankings that are based on basically winning and losing? That's where you get your ranking. UTR is a bit different in that aspect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Todd. It's a great question, actually, because I think UTR is unique in that. And I love the fact that it's not just winning or losing a match, the score counts. So every game counts. So you might have a UTR ranking of 13 and I might have a UTR ranking of 10. And if we go out and play and you beat me 7-5, 7-6, that's a really good result for me. So my UTR rating would actually go up, taking you so close. If in reality, if you go out and beat me 6-love, which would normally happen, then your UTR ranking is going to go up. So the great thing about that is every point, every game counts. So that's why it's really important that you just don't go out there, and it's not about the winning or losing, the score counts.
I think one of the interesting parts that I've found with it, Killer, is that it's a one rating for all, for men and for women. And when you just spoke about being able to go and play against people, I think that's the unique thing about it, is that this allows men and women, boys and girls in particular, that opportunity to play against each other and have a close match.
Yeah, Todd, you and I came up through the junior system, and we know that regardless of who we were practicing against, whether we were practicing against male players or female players, the practice was on all the time, and everybody was completely serious. And I think it's really important at the young age for kids, not only here in Australia but around the world, that it doesn't matter if you're playing against a male player or a female player, we're both after the same thing. And it's great for the youngsters to have this universal tennis rating where there's no bias. It's for male players, female players, club players, professionals, for club coaches. You and I can go out there, and if we put together 30 matches over the next 12 months, then you and I can get a UTR rating as well. So it's a wonderful thing, a way to connect people all over the world, but especially for here in Australia where it's so new, it's a chance to really test ourselves against not only the players within our own state, but certainly when we travel and we go on holidays, to go sign up at a local club and try to get a hit of tennis, knowing that you're going up against someone around your level, regardless of whether that's a male or a female player. It's a wonderful way to get out there and play tennis.
Well, with your knees, my elbow, we're going to have to sort of amalgamate our matches to get to 30, I think. But anyway, you spoke about your son, Ben. He's just been accepted into college. So this is a really unique system that the US college system is now using for a way to put players into their teams and to find out, where they rate internationally in terms of like Ben, being a young Australian going to the US. That's quite unique.
Yeah, this is incredibly important, Todd, and there are many ways for a junior to transition to the pro ranks. And because tennis is becoming an older person sport, both in the male and the female game, The other option is, if you're not quite ready to go pro, is to go across to a college in the States and spend 4 years there getting an education, which is incredibly important, but also working on your tennis for about 4 years in some great programs in some wonderful universities. My son Benjamin's, he's been accepted into Furman University into South Carolina. So he's hoping to go across there in the middle of August to start his tennis journey. And what all the coaches and all the recruiters across in the US look at first is that UTR rating. And it's incredibly important for them because they don't have to go out and scout a bunch of players. They can go onto the system on My UTR. They can log in. They can see the players are playing against, their scores, their results, their rating, and they can get a pretty good sense as to what level of player they're recruiting. So having a good UTR rating is incredibly important for anyone that's got a dream of going to US college.
I know you've used this system in your TV work, in your commentary with ESPN. I know we looked at it as well in Channel 9 in our domestic coverage here in Australia for this AO 2020. Talk us through when you're at the bench, how the UTR is actually helping you as a commentator talk about head-to-head matches. And sometimes it'll look like a player should be the one that's easily going to win this match, but UTR says otherwise.
Yeah, so what UTR does a little bit different to the ATP or the WTA rankings is that it takes head-to-head results and surface and everything into making a particular UTR rating for that particular matchup. So it's taking everything into account. So I think it's a little bit unique where, as you know, for the ATP, when we used to play, we were pretty good fast court players. So if we spent most of our time on the fast courts, we can improve our ranking and maximize. But if we went onto the clay, we would struggle a little bit. So this is what the UTR does. It takes all the different surfaces, all the different matchups, all the different scenarios into contention and puts that in, and the algorithm pops out a UTR rating, and then it puts a head-to-head matchup and works out who should be the stronger player on that particular day. So it's pretty amazing what the computer can do and what the algorithm can do, and I think it's sort of the way we're heading in a commentary sense, because actually it's the way we coach as well. You can look at coaching somebody on a head-to-head, and straight away I'll get rid of a lot of the matches that my player's up against if it's not on the right surface or it's not in the same environment that we're playing in on that particular day. So we remove all that, and we only look at the matches that are relevant to that particular head-to-head matchup is, and that's what UTR does, and that's why it works so well.